Hello, welcome back to the next episode of Finding Your Way for the NAFC. I'm Lucas Catton. And in this episode, I wanted to talk about overcoming compassion fatigue. And recently, there was an article in USA Today that talked about mental health care workers and who's caring for them. In a time where things have been so difficult for so many of us in our personal lives, in our professional lives, in anything from health to finances to lots of different strife that we've been having to deal with, that many of us have. And then as people in the healthcare field and mental health field and in the counseling or advocacy and all these different fields where we are helping other people in one way or another to be able to cope with the situations they may be facing in life, one often asks, who are we turning to for help? And so compassion fatigue is really a feeling of indifference towards the people that we are helping. Like we're kind of over it. Sometimes it's called counselor burnout. And there's many other definitions for it as well when you take a look at it. And in looking at this, we have to focus on how can we help the helpers? How can we provide assistance for those of us who are helping other people in different ways? And one of the best way to be able to do that is to focus on self-care. And a lot of people misconstrue self-care as, go get your nails done, go to a spa, things like that. And that might be the case, like that is part of it. But really it's about preserving or improving one's health and wellness, especially in times of stress. So given that these are stressful times, that being able to focus on self-care to help the helpers and to be able to address the counselor burnout, the compassion fatigue that many of us or many of you or people that we know might be experiencing is essential at this time, because times aren't going to necessarily get easier right away. And whether or not there's a pandemic going on or anything else that's happening in the world, this is something that we need to be aware of and conscious of going forward no matter what. Because it doesn't just happen. This didn't just happen during the past 12 months. It's been a thing for a long time. And especially when there are therapists, for example, who deal with a lot of trauma with people and they're experiencing that trauma through the eyes and mouths of other people and sharing those situations and going through that with them, and the compassion that they feel toward them starts to really take a toll. And so one of the things to do is to take a look at the signs of compassion fatigue. For example, it might be physical and mental or emotional exhaustion, just not capable of making it through the day sometimes. There might be a depersonalization or a loss of identity of some kind, feeling like maybe you're not yourself lately kind of thing. There could be extreme mood swings in some cases where you have bouts of anger and sadness and so forth. Sometimes this can show up as a feeling of inadequacy, like you're not doing enough. I know there are times where I've felt that. It's like, well, how come I can't seem to get ahead, or I'm not doing enough, or I'm not helping enough, or that kind of thing. And many of you might be experiencing that as well in the different realms that you're working. This can also look as maybe a difficulty in sleeping, and other physical health such as that as well. And if you can start to recognize these signs and tie them to not only the things that you're personally experiencing in your life, but also because of the additional exposure that you're getting from the people that you're working with and from those who you care deeply about and want to help through their situations, then there's some things that we can do to be able to take a step back and preserve our own mental health and wellness and well-being. And some of the ways that you can apply self-care in this may start as simple as taking a walk or incorporating some other form of simple exercise. There are so many different health benefits from exercise, and taking a walk can help to relieve some stress pretty immediately. Another is to connect with nature. You might have heard of something called like a nature bath, where you're actually exposing yourself into a forest-type climate or near some water, or with other animals and flowers and plants and things like this. If there's a garden or some type of forest that you can go to and take a walk in a park, those kinds of things, exposing yourself to nature can also help ground and relieve some stress as well. Another is to be able to set appropriate boundaries. One of the things that we often feel is that we can't say no to people. When somebody asks for help or somebody else needs something from us, we have to be able to set our own boundaries and be able to say no when you know that you're overextending yourself. And saying no isn't being a bad person. It's not that you are somehow being less compassionate. That's not it at all. In fact, you have to be able to preserve yourself, because if you are not feeling well and doing well, then you're not going to be able to help anybody at all, let alone one extra person. And that's just a reality that we face in this field. So setting appropriate boundaries for that and being able to say no and be able to block off time for yourself is crucial. And one of the things that can often help is seeking counseling or therapy yourself. And there are times where sometimes helpers don't see that they also need help, and that really isn't the case. In fact, there's a lot of counselors, therapists, pastors, advocates, support personnel who themselves have their own team in order to support them through their things that they're going through. And this is very much a needed thing, not only now, but going forward as well. Seek out what type of support team and counseling and therapy you might need in your life. Another one is to make sure and eat well and rest and get some sleep. If you're not having the best time being able to sleep at night, maybe take a look at how you can potentially take some kind of supplement, such as a magnesium or something like that, to help calm your nerves. Maybe there is some type of medication that a doctor can assist you with to assist in calming things down or sleeping or being able to improve various aspects of your life. But seeking out appropriate help from professionals who can assist you with that, and also paying attention to your diet and having foods that are rich in vitamins and minerals and core essentials that we need to be able to feel better and produce our own natural chemical balance as well. And maybe seeking a nutritionist who can assist you with that. And one of the last things is practicing some times of quiet or silence or meditation, mindfulness practices as a whole. It could be prayer for you. It could be lots of different things. But making sure to block out time for some quiet time, for some reflection, for some peace for yourself. And maybe a combination of one or more of these things can help to preserve your physical and mental health and well-being and balance overall, so that you can go on continuing to help people who so often desperately count on you. So I hope that helps to some degree. Please take a look at some of the things that you might be able to find for overcoming compassion fatigue. And until next time, I'm Lucas Catton for the NAFC and Finding Your Way. Take care.